Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. You're watching Cameo Care's live stream, Cameo's first virtual 3-day event raising money to benefit those impacted by COVID-19. While you're watching, you can donate by clicking in the link in the description below or going to cameo.com, where all purchases support COVID-19 relief efforts. I'm Coyote Peterson, wildlife expert and host of the Brave Wilderness YouTube channel. And today's panel is called Wild Adventures. We will be chatting with the world's most famous hippo, Fiona, and her trainer, Jenna Wingate. If you guys are ready, we're going to start answering some questions and talking with Fiona. So here we go. Let's get the questions started. How's it going over there, Jenna?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. Looks like a nice sunny day there in Cincinnati at the zoo.
Yes, we lucked out today. We're loving the sun.
Very cool. Now, our guests today are, without question, the world's most famous hippo duo. Fiona, who's the baby, and her mom, who you can see right there. Look how cute they both are. That is about as adorable as I think it gets.
These two are definitely the best. Fiona's a little bit sleepy right now, so I hope she wakes up for all of us.
All right, well, I've got a slew of questions that I'll sort of lead us in with, and then we'll also be taking some questions periodically from the audience. So I'll let you know when we've got an audience question. But to start off, I got a whole list here. This is great. The first ones are going to come in kind of pertaining to the Cincinnati Zoo. Now, you guys have an amazing establishment down there, and we've got to know, do the animals miss having all their human visitors every single day?
You know, we're getting that question a lot, and it's hard to say for some of our animals. For the hippos, they get so much attention. We're here every day with them, of course, and we are doing cameos with them. They haven't seemed to miss them, but Fiona absolutely reacts to people and loves people, so there's a good chance that she is. She's definitely been rowdier with Phoebe, so maybe she misses the attention. I think some of our more social animals, like our primates, are probably missing our visitors a lot and the entertainment that they provide them.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I certainly know that, Fiona has her own Cameo account, which is pretty awesome. I think she's got to be the only hippo, but she may be one of the only animals that actually has a Cameo account. So that's pretty cool. Now, do you help her maintain her account on a daily basis?
You know, I do. I help her with a lot of her fame. She definitely brings a lot of happiness to the world. So I'm here to help her do that with the tech side of things.
Okay. Now, certainly we know that in the wild, hippos have the potential to be very dangerous. These two hippos obviously are acclimated to humans and look very happy, but as a hippo trainer, how do you interact with these animals on a daily basis? And are you always feeling safe working around them?
That's a good question. We have a lot of safety protocols in place, so we don't share space with them. We are allowed to rub their faces and interact with them. We touch their mouths, give them massages, work with touching their ears so they're desensitized for things that they would ever need a treatment with their ears. So we are touching them, but always with a gate between us and them or a wall. So we are never putting ourselves in danger. And the good news is our hippos here love people, and we provide them with food. And we aren't trying to take their territory or their mates or their offspring. So for the most part, they're just happy to be here getting food, and they don't show any sort of aggression towards us.
Gotcha. Now I see that what are they feasting on right now? It looks like a very healthy diet. Lots of veggies, right?
Absolutely. These two are very content getting all the romaine lettuce that we will provide them. So they eat romaine lettuce, yellow squash, cucumber, Timothy hay, and a special herbivore grain that's made for hippos and other herbivores living in zoos that gives them all the vitamins and nutrients that they need. But I would say romaine is definitely one of their favorites.
Now, as herbivores, obviously they're not using those big tusks to take down any prey items, only used for defense. But how powerful is the bite of a hippo? And I'm not necessarily talking about the two that we see here on camera, but hippos in the wild, how powerful is that bite?
I've read that it's anywhere between 1,800 to 2,200 PSI. Wow. And supposedly they can bite a crocodile in half, and they have the strongest bite force of any mammal is what I've read. So I haven't seen anything like that, but BB does crush a watermelon.
Okay, well, yeah, I would definitely say those tusks are something you want to stay away from. Now, how old is Fiona at this point?
She is 3. She turned 3 in January.
That is so cool. How much does she weigh these days?
She's about 1,350 pounds. So being 6 weeks premature, she's still a little bit smaller than a lot of hippos her age, but she is growing and on an upward trend and doing well. So we're not too worried about it, but she is a little bit small.
Well, she may be a little bit small for a hippo, but that's still pretty sizable and certainly adorable. It almost looks as if she's smiling all the time.
You know, it really does. There's something special about Fiona. Phoebe is very special herself too, but Fiona really does look like she's smiling. She loves to be in front of the camera, and it's just a really cute hippo.
Now, as hippos are semi-aquatic ungulates, what amount of time do they spend in the water? Are they in the water all the time, or do they have part of their enclosure where they can actually get out on land and do any sort of grazing?
Yeah, so hippos typically spend about 16 hours a day or during the heat of the day in the sun in the water or underwater. But we have a sandy beach further back that's a little bit hard to see probably right now. But they love to sunbathe out there on the milder days between like 50 and 70 degrees. And then, of course, they would come out at night to graze on grasses.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, they look very happy today, enjoying the sun. Here in Columbus, Ohio, it's fortunately a sunny day as well. Just can't wait for spring to fully set in.
Absolutely, man.
All right, I'm going to take a question real quick from the audience here. Now, does Fiona enjoy having her photo taken, or does she enjoy actually making her Cameo videos?
You know, it's funny because there aren't many animals that I could honestly say enjoy a camera or would enjoy making videos, but Fiona absolutely does. We've been documenting her life since day one. I think she associates people and cameras with love and attention and affection that she got as a baby. And no joke, she will go up to the biggest camera she can find. If she sees like somebody from the news to do a video on her, or a cameraman that works here, or videographer, she goes straight to those cameras. So I think she loves the attention, and all these snacks don't hurt either.
She's certainly a little celebrity in her own right. Now, her nose, how squishy is the nose of a hippo? Because I can see it coming right up to the camera there. It just looks so, you just want to squeeze it and give it a kiss.
That's a good question. It's actually kind of dense. So it is squishable, but not super squishy. She does like to have rubs. She is still too small to stand up here. She has to stand on her hind legs. So that's why you'll notice Phoebe can rest her head on the rock work and all 4 feet are on the ground. Fiona comes up and down because she can't quite do that yet. But their noses are, we compare it to an avocado.
Okay, that's a good comparison. Sort of the texture of an avocado, squishy but a little rough at the same time.
Exactly.
All right, that makes sense. Now, has Fiona learned any new skills as of recently? And as she gets older, do you see her ability to move within her enclosure advancing on a weekly, monthly, or yearly basis? How's she acclimating to her life? For those that don't know, she was born premature and was one of, if not the only hippo ever born premature to survive in captivity, correct?
Yes, that's correct. As far as we know, she's the only one that was premature and survived.
Okay. Now, when acclimating to her enclosures, how is she doing with all of that?
Yeah, she seems to be doing great. She is a happy, healthy hippo. We've seen her doing her porpoising behaviors a lot lately, which is so much fun. So hippos actually walk along the bottom. They don't swim. So they'll use their powerful legs, which don't look super powerful compared to the rest of their body. But she can porpoise all the way out. Her entire body will come out of the water. And I actually call it the splash zone because she will splash water over our glass from the pool. So she has a lot of force and it's a lot of fun. She's very fast and yeah, overall doing really well. She's able to do all sorts of behaviors that help us keep her safe and healthy, like voluntary blood draws. I've been working recently on her putting her foot on a stump. So if we ever need to, we could potentially get x-rays on her feet. So that's her newest behavior that we're working on that would hopefully keep her nice and healthy in the future.
Okay, so I guess that answers that question. Most recent trick is foot up on a stump. Well, it sounds like she's good at doing her doctor's visits then.
She's better than I am, that's for sure.
All right, I'm going to take another question here coming in from the audience. Let me see. Oh, this is a good one. Does Fiona know that she actually has an ice cream flavor named after her at Grater's Ice Cream?
You know what? I don't know if she knows, but I can tell you that ice cream is delicious and everyone should try it. I wish that Fiona could, but we've got her on the healthy diet here.
I did not know she had her own ice cream flavor. I'm gonna have to try that. Now, does it taste like vegetables? Does it taste like something she would like, or what is the flavor of it?
You know, I don't, I think she would love it, but it does not taste like vegetables. It has chocolate and nuts in it, and it's very sweet and delicious.
Okay. Well, I guess it's a little hippo-oriented in design in its own certain right. Now, I was reading earlier that a group of hippos is actually called a bloat, which I thought was a pretty interesting definition for a group of hippopotamus that I guess they kind of look bloated in some sense, right?
Yeah, I've never really thought about that, but that's correct.
Although I'm sure Fiona doesn't want me to say that she looks bloated, but I just think they're so adorable the way that their big bulbous bodies just can plow through the water. I mean, the amount of power in these animals is it's really pretty unbelievable.
It really, really is. Seeing them run on land is probably my favorite thing to watch them do. And a really cool fact about hippos is they can run faster than humans at about 18 or 19 miles per hour for short distances. So that's really impressive. Just like you were saying, their big bulbous bodies running on those teeny little legs that fast is really cool to see.
Right. Now, in my line of work, and certainly in yours as well, I'm sure you're always encouraging people, admire animals from a safe distance. And if you were to ever see a hippo in the wild in South Africa, whether in the water or on land, it's definitely something you need to pay the utmost respect to. Arguably one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous animal in all of South Africa, mainly because they're territorial, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Absolutely. I've always said they're the most dangerous animal in Africa other than mosquitoes. So I think it has a lot to do with people coming in to their territory to either bathe or fish or swim, that sort of thing. So people are coming near them a little bit more often, but they are very, very territorial, and that's what makes them so dangerous.
Now, when you see BB's mouth open like that, I'm sure a lot of people are focused in on those tusks. They're amazing. Now, did the tusks grow throughout the life of the animal? Do they have to sort of wear those down like a beaver will when it gnaws on trees?
Yeah, so they are ever growing, and they will every once in a while break off during a fight or something like that. But they do rub against one another when they open and close their mouths. So they're self-sharpening. And BB here, she'll come back for you. We can show you. It's really impressive. I think it's really cool how they fit up in their mouth. You wouldn't think there's room for them. But yes, they're ever growing, and the males especially, their tusks can get over 1.5 feet long, I believe.
That is cool. I love how you're able to just manipulate their lips, and they're just like, yeah, that's okay. Like on your dog, like when you lift up its lip to see its canine teeth, they just keep their mouths agape and like, more treats, more treats.
Exactly. Their mouths could have, 5 or 6 pieces of food in there, and they'll still hold them open begging for more until they realize I'm waiting for them to chew.
That's crazy. How much in weight, how much food do they go through on a daily basis?
These girls are getting about 50 or so pounds each. So they share 40 pounds of Timothy hay. They get 3 pounds of grain, and then they're getting about 10 pounds or so of produce each day. And then every once in a while, they're getting extras and novel foods, watermelon, that sort of thing.
That's a very high fibrous diet. Now, people are always asking me about poop. No matter what animal it is, people always want to know, what does the poop look like? We were just doing a live stream earlier, actually talking about hippos and the way that they disperse their poop, which is pretty crazy, right? Like they kind of spin it around with their tails and splatter it all over the place in the wild, correct?
Yeah, so our females here don't do it. Our male that we did have, he would, it's called dung showering, and you literally get showered with dung, and it goes everywhere on the ceilings, all over people if you don't get away fast enough, but it helps them mark their territories and say, hey, this is my space, you need to stay away.
So as a hippo trainer, does it fall within your job requirements to clean up after a dung shower?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of my job looks pretty glamorous, But to be honest, there is a lot of cleaning involved. Hippos can produce at least 20 pounds of waste a day. I would venture to guess even more. It's hard to measure. They do go to the bathroom in the water. But these guys produce a lot of waste, and it's my job to clean it up.
Well, I guess being a hippo trainer is, like you said, it's not all glitz and glam. There's a little bit of cleanup involved with it as well.
Absolutely. It's
Let me find another question from the audience here. Let me pick a good one. Let's see. Okay, I guess we're in talking about food. Does Fiona have a favorite treat?
That's a good question. Fiona is not picky, but when presented with different items, she prefers her Timothy hay over her grain. And if I want to keep her focused during a training session, romaine lettuce seems to do the best. Or we do a lot of honeydew or cantaloupe for our high-end training. So I would say melons, romaine, or hay are her favorites.
Okay. Now, on a daily basis, how much time are you spending interacting with Fiona, whether it's feeding or just basic nourishment or training? How much time do you spend with her each and every day?
It kind of depends on the day, but I would say on the low end, about 3 to 4 hours, and on the high end, about 5 or 6. So they do spend a lot of time sleeping out here. So if they're underwater and I'm busy cleaning and that sort of thing, I'm not with them. But a lot of the times I'm spending near them. They're watching me clean. If it's cold and they're inside for the winter, or we're doing things like tours and cameos and training sessions and enrichment sessions. So I actually do get to spend a lot of time with them.
That's amazing. Now, let's go back to the sleeping for a second, because this is something that even I don't know the answer to this. How do hippos sleep? Are they sleeping in the water? Or are they coming up on land to sleep?
So a little of both. Typically, hippos are nocturnal. They'll sleep in the water during the heat of the day because they can become dehydrated really easily. And our hippos are a little bit adjusted to our schedule, but they tend to sleep on land at night for whatever reason. But during the day, if they're sleeping, it's typically underwater, and they can hold their breath for 5 or more minutes. And with a natural reflex, actually come up and take a breath without ever waking up. So these girls are spending a lot of time sleeping in the water, but they do choose to sleep on land at night sometimes, or they'll sunbathe on the nice days too.
Okay, that's interesting. So very similar to manatees in the way that they'll just naturally rise to the surface, take a breath, and then sink back down.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, I'm going to take another question from the audience here. I love this one. This is a great one that most people probably don't know. Is it true that hippopotamuses are capable, or I guess is it hippopotamuses or hippopotami?
That's a good one. I think either is correct.
Either is correct? Okay, I'll go hippopotami for this one. Is it true that hippopotami are capable of making their own sunscreen and that sunscreen is red?
Yes, that is correct. It's a really cool fact about hippos. We call it blood sweat, but it's not blood and it isn't sweat. It is a mucus. Today it's only about 50 degrees, so they are not hot. They're not producing a lot of that blood sweat. But when they are, if it's a really warm day, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but when I rub, it produces like this white kind of slobber looking thing. That is the blood sweat. But on a hot day, for whatever reason, it has a red tint to it and it'll bead up like sweat. And that acts as a sunscreen, a bug repellent, and even an antiseptic. So these girls produce it more when they're really hot, or if an animal or if a hippo is stressed, they'll produce it more also. But it is a white color when they're not warm, which is really interesting to me.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. I guess that is kind of really like their own self-creating sunscreen in a certain sense. Now,
Yeah,
do they do that throughout their entire lives, or does like Fiona reach a certain maturity level or age where she starts actually producing that?
No, they produce it their whole lives, and it kind of forms a lacquer over their body, and that's how it protects them from the sun. I don't think I mentioned that. But yeah, Fiona's been producing it since she was very little.
Okay. Well, we're getting close to wrapping up here, but let me take one more question from the audience. This is a good one. Okay. This is a great one for Fiona. Since she's her own little celebrity in her own right, if there were to be an animated film based on the life of Fiona, what celebrity would play Fiona's voice?
Oh my gosh, that is a really good question. Oh my gosh, you might have stumped me on this one. We're big fans of Taylor Swift here, so we would definitely hope that she would be willing to do that role there.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, if Fiona was going to sing any songs in that movie, I think Taylor Swift would probably be a pretty good option.
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we'll try to send a message out to Taylor. We'll get this movie in the works. We'll talk to Disney tomorrow. And before we know it, Fiona is going to have her very own animated film. I can already see it.
Sounds great. Please make that happen.
All right, Jenna. Well, thank you so much for all your time today. That's going to pretty much wrap it up for us, guys. But remember, Cameo will be donating proceeds to charities helping those impacted by COVID-19. So make your Cameo request now, or you can donate by clicking on the link in the video description below. Up next, tune into Rivals and veterans of MTV's The Challenge, where they sit down for a question and answer session with all of their fans. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm Coyote Peterson. Jenna, Fiona, thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too.
Stay wild.